What is up, world? You are in tune to the Know It All podcast, and you've got your different podcast. You are in tune to the Marvelous podcast, and you definitely got your favorite Marvelous talkers here. Definitely Big G and Max. What's up with you guys, man?
That was bad, dude. That was bad. I understand March Madness, but come on.
Yeah. It's hook, line, and sinker with it, Max. It's hook, line, and sinker. He can't take it.
Hey, it is what it is, and guess what? By the time it gets to the world, it'll be edited. We're great.
Whatever.
If you like the content that you're here, make sure you like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Twitch, maybe because it's not going. I don't think it's actually going over to our Twitch account, but it should be. And if you see us on Twitch, make sure you subscribe there. We're going to go ahead and get into some things from this week, some interesting developments. But before we do, let's do this. And of course, we are locked in Marvelous Talk. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. If you don't know by now, if you've been living under a rock or just don't know at all, it's Moonknight week. And we're definitely going to get Moonknight this week. It is time for some more marvelous content. How excited are we, Max? On a 1 to 10, how excited are you on this Moonknight release on Wednesday?
I'd go with the 10. I know that sounds just like a cop-out, but I wasn't as excited for Winter Soldier and the Falcon. I wasn't as excited for, WandaVision at first, but I was totally wrong about that. So I'm really excited for this. And I wasn't excited for Hawkeye. So I would say this is pretty high up there because I've loved Moon Knight as a character. I love Oscar Isaac, and I think this is going to usher in that little bit of dark age to the MCU. Not dark, but, gritty. How about gritty sounds better than dark?
Gritty does sound better than dark, but I just got to go ahead and agree with you. It's going to be dark. When you start talking about vampires, it's going to be dark. You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about mummies and mummified folks, it's going to be dark, right? And you got a 10? You're that excited, Max?
I'm that excited. I've always been a big Moon Knight guy. There was this video game back in the day called Ultimate Alliance, and I was when I first discovered Moon Knight, and I was like, this dude is so cool. Fast forward, I'm reading Ultimate Spider-Man, the comic book series. He's in there. I just love Moon Knight. It's just really what it is.
Moon Knight strikes me as a sadistic Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like he whoops everybody to a pulp. It's the same kind of dude for me. But I get it. Now, Big G, how excited from 1 to 10? Give me where you are on that totem pole.
11. It's an 11. It's past 1 through 10. The reason why is because we're going to get the dark side and some ties to the dark hole, but really Moon Knight is going to tie us to an Egyptian folklore that we know to be true as far as Marvel Comics is concerned. And I wouldn't be shocked if you see appearances of some of the elder gods, which is like Ramatut, Bas. I would not be shocked if you tied all those people together, because if you know the story of how vibranium was formed, you know that Ra took his heart, gave it to his daughter, they hid it in Africa, and that's how you got the heart-shaped herb. So I think you're going to see a reference line from that as far as a story, with tying Moon Knight more to Wakanda and more to that type thing than you're going to see tied to like Wanda and Doctor Strange. It might be the middle ground point, but I know that you're going to see those stories tied together.
I'm different from you guys. I'm like a 6. I'm not expecting much. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'm not expecting much.
Yeah.
I am excited about the ties of them being in London, which we'll talk about later. But you know, I'm not really that. Like I said, I mean, to watch him beat people up and act silly, I'm not really excited about that. It's only 6 episodes, and the reason why I say act silly because he's paranoid schizophrenic, so he doesn't know who he is half the time, right?
No,
So,
he's not paranoid schizophrenic.
I think he has
identity
personalities.
personality disorder. He has identity personality
okay.
disorder. He's
All
not
right, so he has
schizophrenic.
identity personality.
So we're splitting hairs here. Potato. He's crazy.
Right. He's crazy. He don't know who he is half the time. It is what it is. You know,
Sean, what you said about references to the heart-shaped herb, since we're going to be in Egypt for, I would say, a good amount of the story, is there no possibility of a apocalypse reference? Only the first mutant ever?
I think so with that, because I think there's going to be reference to Ramatut. And Ramatut is Kang the Conqueror.
Pump the brakes, bro. Max.
What?
Would you say that one more time? This is really good. Say that one more
I'm just saying,
time.
like, if we're going to be in Egypt, which I wouldn't say is like a super hotbed for the MCU or Marvel Comics, it's pretty good, but it's not like it's New York or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But why not get some apocalypse reference? The first mutant.
Wow.
I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to butcher it right now because I'm low-key scared to say it on camera. So maybe Sean can help me out right now.
Wow. In Salvador, the first one. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I mean, why not? Yeah. I'm just saying, if we're in Egypt, why not? Why not? Because we already saw Patrick Stewart kind of come in. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I love it, bro. Like, I didn't even think about that. And that's a good one.
Isn't Storm from Egypt too? Isn't Storm from Egypt?
Yeah, she's from Cairo.
So
Aurora Monroe is from Cairo, Egypt. She's from Cairo. So yeah. But Max, Ramatut, you got to remember, Kang is in the backdrop of all of this stuff. Kang is in the backdrop.
But do you think they're going to reveal that, or they're kind of like they're like, there's going to be a moment where he's like, oh, I was here the whole time, and then everyone's going to be like, oh no, like, because like people like us always get it right. Like me and my fiance we started watching Daredevil. She's like, who's Vanessa? I'm like, it's Vanessa Fisk, like, and she doesn't know, right? It's not an addiction. It's not an whatever of her. She just doesn't know. So I'm saying, what if people don't really know, and then we get that moment where it's like, I've been pulling the strings, because I felt like an idiot with Loki. I was like, who are they talking about? And I was like, oh, it's all about time. King the Conqueror is all about time. I feel like a dummy. So I think they could do something like that, where it's just that moment where it's like, I've been here the whole time, dude.
Well, so like Agatha, it's been Agatha all along, kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, that makes sense now when I look back at it. I feel like an idiot again.
Well, we know from some of the credit scenes that they've already released out on Disney, we know that the guy with the staff, and I'm not going to call out who his character is or isn't. We know the guy with the staff completed a portal. We do.
I think Big G, we're losing Big G a little bit. And he was talking about the guy with the staff, and he didn't want to call names. But I'm going to be honest with you. Max, your theory hunts, it eats. And I just really believe that on some level, we're definitely going to end up seeing, I think on some level, we're probably going to end up seeing my guy. Yeah, Apocalypse.
So are you still a 6 if that happens, or would you like go up to like an 8 on excitement, or like an 11?
I would go up to like an 8. I would. I mean, because that's a great tie. You know what I'm saying? It's a great tie-in. It makes me believe in the fact that, hey, we're bringing all of the mutants back under one umbrella. You know what I'm saying?
You don't even have to like do a hard tease of him. It can just be something real slight.
Right.
It's just it's like there's like this guy. It's kind of like a reference, and it's like, what does that sound like? Oh, crap, that's him.
That's him, right? You don't even have to call his name. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right? You wouldn't even have to call his name. You could just see him in passing, and that would definitely do it for me, man. I mean, for real, I would get super excited, Max. I'm talking about over over the top excited. That would put me in a new level of excitement if that actually happened, bro. Like, I mean, when you said it, you saw how happy I got when you even just made reference. That's the kind of stuff to me that I think takes the storytelling of Marvel to a whole new place. If they could do that, I'm telling you, I would be overjoyed and over the top excited about that whole opportunity to see my guy Apocalypse.
There's just like too many clues. It's like the Mr. Sinister stuff that came out. It was like, why did that come out all of a sudden? Because it's not like Mr. Sinister is this super well-known character. He's well-known. And then Patrick Stewart and Doctor Strange, just weird.
Yeah,
it is. And
fellas, I apologize.
No, you're good.
Get those hamsters running to get that internet better.
I know, right? For real.
No, actually, what happened is the internet dropped in my whole house, so I had to switch to my hotspot off of my phone.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be on my control.
Your theory here is you're talking about the guy with the staff. You might as well call his name. That's what we do on Marvelous Talk. We talk. So you might as well call his name, man. Guy with the staff who opened up a portal and something crazy and weird came out of it. Look, once again, to Max's point, it's dark. It's gonna be dark, you guys. Yeah. Prepare yourself for it to be dark in a little bit, okay? And you're gonna have the little hair raising up on the back of your neck. So prepare yourself. Sean, Big G, who was this crawling out of the hole, and who was the guy with the staff?
Well, I think. Okay, so this is just my concept. I believe that these people, these characters that they're setting up on the show, like Oscar Isaac, right? Mark Spector is an avatar for the moon god, right? So I think that this guy is going to play the role of an avatar for Ra. And who's coming up out of the hole is like a dog-like creature, because you've already seen that creature twice. You've seen him come out of the hole, then you've seen him actually chase Moonknight, right? So I think if this guy is the avatar, he's Ra in the flesh on the earth, trying to open up a portal to the realm of the elder gods. If that's the case, then that ties into all this other stuff we know about Chthon and Bast, and even more so, think about what you've seen in the trailers with the crocodile, right? Everything you see represents the crocodile. Even the staff that he has the crocodile. Go back to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. When they opened up that portal, there was a crocodile, there was a panther, there was a rhino, there was all on that table. So these represent the entities of the elder gods, right? We even know from Black Panther that Anuman is the monkey elder god. So what I think the show is going to be about is the contrast of opening up the portal to where the elder gods are at, which could be a different time or a different universe, to try to get them back to the earth. And anytime you start screwing with time and all whatever else, you got to have a reference to Kang, which is Rama Tut, who actually was in cahoots with Ra back in the day. So as far as the comics, so that's just my theory. I think you're going to see a lot of that portals and start talking about elder gods and lay that stuff down. And if they don't have nothing but just a little quick talk or conversation about Bass, I'm cool with it because it's going to set everything else up.
Well, so what I was saying is, man, if they even make reference to a guy who's just, all out there, like, and it sounds like I'm losing it. You know what I mean? That to me, like I told Max, that to me takes this whole thing to a 8, 9, because like I said, it's bringing all of the mutants in sooner than expected, right? It's bringing the thought of them in, not actually the characters, but the thought. And like Max said, when you allude to a thought, that's big, because now that gets everybody's mind going in different directions, and everybody's like, oh my God, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it could be that. So I'll give you all of the elder gods. That's fine. I mean, I don't really care about them at all. They're like side pieces to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about them at all. I'm looking for the main course, and the main course to me is I want to see at the end us tie into the sons of the Midnight Suns. That's what I want. I want to see.
Well,
I want to see a Blade Black Knight reference at the end of this bad baby. I climax. That's what I want to see. Put that on the screen. Do I think I'm gonna get
I
it?
could see.
I don't know.
I could see definitely maybe an on-screen appearance of maybe Blade at the end versus an on-screen appearance of Black Knight. But I could definitely see them start to build the team of the Midnight Suns. Well, if you build a group of characters that have to come together to fight something, who they fight? So we're going to have to get an introduction of a big bad, because in order for like the Midnight Suns, like Doctor Strange and Blade and Black Knight and Moonknight and all these cats to come together, there's got to be something out there that's so bad that, you know, we got to come together to off this thing. You know, and they're a weird combination anyway, because everybody's like the alpha male and nobody's like sitting down and saying, okay, you're the leader. It don't work like that. It's more like the Midnight Suns are more like the Defenders versus the Avengers.
Do you think the Midnight Suns would almost not be in the MCU for not the success of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Because I felt like the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not a well-known group, and like I know people know them now, but if I told you before the movie came out, oh, this Guardians of the Galaxy movie is going to be awesome, you'd be like, maybe.
What? Yeah.
So just like without them, is it possible to have a Midnight Suns? And I think it is a huge possibility that they're all going to link up just because they made magic with a really not well-known superhero group, and they're going to make magic again, more than likely.
So to me, I'm going to jump in on that. Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt and what's my girl's name who plays
Zoe Saldana?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think they made the Guardians. You know what I'm saying? And the voice of Rocket Raccoon, which is my guy,
Bradley Cooper.
Honestly,
I feel like Batista does such a great job as Drax. Like, it's just such
Yes,
a weird element to the movie.
The things that and you know, once again, we got to talk about this because this is something that Max wants to talk about, and we got to talk about before we get out of here. Casting. I'm gonna tell you something. That was the most well casted movie, down to my guy Fast
Vin
and
Diesel.
Furious. Vin Diesel. Like literally, and all you hear him do is you know what I'm saying? I am Groot. You know, you don't really hear much from him. But when I say that Chris Pratt and Gamora made the movie, I keep forgetting her name. When I say that those Zoe Saldana, yeah. When I say that Zoe and Chris made the movie, they freaking made the movie, and they made the Guardians for me. Here's what I believe, and you know, Max, this is why I say that I kind of can see that, because here's the deal. You got Mahershala, you got the guy who's playing Black Knight, Kit Harington.
Yeah, Jon Snow, for everyone out there who's a Game of Thrones
Jon Snow from James. So listen, these are great characters, right? And if you mess around and you cast somebody like Nicolas Cage for Ghost Rider or somebody, I'm just saying, you cast a big name, you're gonna mess around and get characters that people are familiar with, and they're gonna jump on board. They're gonna be all the way on board, right? So I could see that happening again, Max, and I think that this would be a walk-off homer for Marvel. You know what I'm saying? It would be something that's so unexpected and so far out of the left. I mean, because the regular, like you were saying, the regular viewers, they don't know nothing about the Midnight Sun. They ain't even worried about that, right? But we do, right? And we would get it, and they would be like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So I think, yes. To answer your question, I went around the block 2 times, but to answer your question, yes, I think, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy made it easy for this one to happen.
Well, we already know right. We already know Cumberbatch is the centerpiece. We know that. So we know that moving forward from Marvel, Cumberbatch is the centerpiece. So he's got to have a squad. If he's the man in the middle, like Tony Stark had the Avengers, and Cumberbatch is the man in the middle, he's got to have his squad. So his squad is the Midnight Suns. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there anyone else though who could potentially be the center point of the MCU? Because I agree with you. With Chris Evans gone, Robert Downey Jr., there's a power gap of character. So Iron Man's off the table, Captain America's off the table. And now we have to fill in that power vacuum. And I think if it is going to be Benedict, which I believe it is, and everything indicates it is, the shift the MCU is going to take is going to go to it's going to basically go up a level. Because if you think about Iron Man 1, it's like this kind of seems in the realm of possibility. Like someone could build an Iron Man suit. There'll probably be someone who builds one in our lifetime. It might not be as amazing, but they already kind of have that type of thing, right? Captain America, he's just fighting strong dudes who are terrorists. Okay, that's believable. His whole thing is magic. Like that's unbelievable. That will never happen. So what's going to be the centerpiece? Who's he going to fight? What's his equivalent to Hydra? Oh, it's Dormammu and his sister and his ex-wife. Right. That just takes it to another level.
Right, and we've already got the handoff as far as like the iron concept is concerned. We know we're getting Armored Wars. We know that Riri Williams is going to be cast as Ironheart in Black Panther 2. So, and we've already had the handoff with Falcon with the Shield. We know that Falcon is the new Captain America, right? So those characters have sort of been handed off. But who's the head of the ship? And like you said, it's Cumberbatch. And so if Cumberbatch is able to like be that guy, now you're going to form the players around him. I thought they was going to do it with Black Panther, but because of the untimely death of Black Panther, now you got to have somebody who's the head of the ship moving forward.
So just put it in a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? I think what Max said, if we just put this in a vacuum, you know, and what you're saying is the same. You know, Benjamin Cumberbatch is our guy. Doctor Strange is our guy, right? And he's our guy for this next move. You have to create nemesis for him, right? Somebody for him to fight. You're doing that in the Doctor Strange movie. I think you're kind of alluding to it with Moon Knight. I don't think that we're going to get it all. Like literally, I think we at the end episode, I don't know if they'll like come together and like, you know, fight. But I think I see them walking out of a dark alley saying, yo, I think there's something you need to know or something. You know what I'm saying? I see Blade and Black Knight coming in at the end like, yo, we here. Like we need to talk to you, you know, kind of thing. So that way you kind of set up everything for the movie and the big reveal in the movie. Because in the movie, you're going to have some mid-credit scenes that set up something else. So if you put it in a vacuum, I think all roads point to Doctor Strange and this Midnight Suns being all that in a bag of chips. Now let's talk about casting real quick, because I know that me and Max and we were talking about this earlier. So we're just going to really talk about casting in different movies, and we're going to start with Iron Man, the casting for Iron Man, and then we're talking about the original Iron Man.
I threw in some Iron Man 2 characters too, just because I wanted to do like an even 10, but we can cut it to 5 just because we're kind of running short on time. And I just thought it's the first movie. Let's kick it off like the MCU kicked off. Robert Downey Jr. Is it an A? Is it an A plus?
That's an A plus. That's an A plus to me, man. What would you think, G? I could elaborate, but it's an A plus.
Yeah, I agree. The only issue was that we didn't know. He was an unknown entity. As far as a look, if you look at the comic book and then you look at him and like how they made his makeup and everything like that, he looked like Tony Stark, you know, from the very beginning.
Some of the facial hair was tough to look at, but it ended up working out. Like when he had like the jagged stuff.
I mean, I was like, yeah, that's unbelievable.
I mean, it was Tony Stark. I mean, even like if you look at the guy right here, that looks like Tony Stark. So Robert Downey Jr. was perfect, you know.
Yeah. Next character.
This is like a two-parter. Do you like Terrence Howard as Rhodey or Don Cheadle?
I think Terrence Howard cheated himself.
Do you think he would have fit in the Iron Man suit?
If you're out there listening, Terrence Howard, you screwed yourself. You screwed yourself out of the best role. You would have been the best Rhodey ever. I mean, literally, you would have carried the character But Don Cheadle is a great actor, and he's carrying the role like nobody's business. But as far as like I mean, you got Robert Downey Jr. the job, and you screwed yourself out the job, which would have lasted you. I mean, you've still been going right now. So I'm sorry, Terrence Howard, but I got to tell you like a T.I. is. Get jacked out with. But I think he would have been the best roadie. What do you think, G?
Mon, you're 100% on it. But the issue is that I think that the MCU would have went in a completely different direction with Terrence Howard being Rhodey, being War Machine. I think he would have become. You would have seen the handoff between Robert Downey Jr. to him, and I think he would have been the pivotal guy because him as an actor, his pipes, what he's able to do. So Don Cheadle, when they switched the roles, they sort of put it in the background. And they're like, okay, we're going to build him up later on, which is why you're going to get Iron Wars in a little while. But Terrence Howard as an actor, he would have carried the show. He would. Matter of fact, I really do believe by now we would have had West Coast Avengers, or like on the cusp of it, because War Machine is pivotal. You would have War Machine, Tigress, Scarlet Witch, Wonder Man, Hawkeye, all those guys West Coasting it by now because he's that big of an actor. That's just my thought.
Do you think like Terrence Howard is the popular choice for who's the better roadie? I really never had this discussion with anybody, but I like Terrence Howard in the first one, and I felt like Don Cheadle, he's not been bad, but he hasn't been like, wow, thank God he's in that movie.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I
I
think Terrence Howard would have been a tight fit in the
Terrence Howard would have overall been the best roadie because of what G just said. Star power. Yeah. He had it. He had it at the time.
Well, do you think he's a bigger star than Don Cheadle?
Yeah.
Don Cheadle was in the Ocean movies. That's a pretty big movie.
Yeah, no.
Now, Terrence Howard, I'm telling you by now, they would have pushed the envelope towards West Coast Avengers. They would have pushed the envelope on the team splitting out and the formation of the new team, which they're going to get to it eventually because you're not going to introduce She-Hulk and all the other stuff they're going to do and not swing out to the West Coast. She's from California.
Do you guys think Terrence Howard would have had to get in better shape to be
absolutely
machine? Okay,
absolutely.
So we could agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love Terrence Howard. I thought he was great in that movie.
Here's the other thing. Last thing about Terrence Howard. The audience that he would have brought into the MCU that is still an audience that's just now coming. When you're looking at the audience from Empire, the audience from Get Rich or Die Trying, what's the movie? It's hard
I can't
out
believe
here
you brought up to Get Rich or Die Trying.
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow.
Empire.
Hustle and Flow.
Empire?
Empire. That audience would have transitioned into Marvel just because of him, right? And they're just now coming into Marvel. You're seeing a lot of that audience come into Marvel, and that was just because of Endgame. But they would have been there. It had, we'd have had Terrence Howard.
Quietly, he would have took some of Chadwick Boseman's shine. Quietly,
a little bit.
I mean, because you think about it. Think about it. People gravitated towards Chadwick Boseman because for him being an African-American actor that was great. Terrence Howard would have been him before him. People would have locked into that roadie character, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys gave me some good parting shots, but let's move on to I only got two more because let's call that like two different characters. So we got Pepper Potts, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, and we got Jon Favreau playing Happy Hogan.
Excellent casting. Excellent.
I could do without Gwyneth Paltrow. I'll tell you, she's
me
the whole movie. Way, man.
How does Brie Larson annoy you?
Oh my God! Listen, she is Pepper Potts. To me, Pepper Potts.
Pepper Potts sucks. Just to start it, I was low key hoping she died in Iron Man 3. I was kind of rooting for her not to come out of that.
Well,
I'm sorry. I just don't like her. And Jon Favreau, he's awesome. I think he does a good job of like self-deprecation, and it's like he's super big behind the scenes in Disney, and I think he's just great. She sucks. I would replace her.
No, never in life.
They're also not a couple at all. That would never work.
Okay, so they took liberties. They took liberties with that, but still, in all, here's my deal. I like her as that character. She's got chops. She can hold her own, and she definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, played the heck out of her character in Endgame. You can't tell me that she didn't.
That was her
play
best performance to date. Was Endgame.
Okay, so
Play the heck out of it.
I'm the comic book guy, right? I cannot see Gwyneth Paltrow actually being rescued. Rescue is a hero, as a superhero. Rescue is the armor that you've seen her put on in Infinity War or in Endgame, right? She had it on for a little hot second. I can't see her being a superhero on the big screen. I just don't see it. And so that's that. So when I grade Pepper Potts, Pepper has to be able to move into being rescued. Gwyneth Paltrow could never been rescued.
I don't think she's. Never. I think she's done with the MCU. I think they know that too. So that character is just off the board. Yes. They're gonna make his daughter.
Absolutely, his daughter's gonna be.
She's gonna be rescued. Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't see. Okay, all right, cool. Well,
she talks like this, like, oh, hi Tony, hi. I can't imagine her talking to the AI like that. Hi Friday. Hey.
No. Pepper Potts in the comic book is edgy. She's raw. She's the person that puts Tony Stark in check. Matter of fact, it's like they did it on the screen, but they showed her character like she sort of like inherited it, Stark Industries. But the issue is that Pepper Potts actually took Stark Industries. So because she knows Tony Stark is a raging alcoholic. So she was like, look, I'm taking all of this because you ain't blowing it for me and the team. So that's why I'm like, and then that's how she becomes her rescue character. And rescue is raw. Rescue does a lot of stuff, man. And so I think like the daughter, like you guys said, the daughter is going to become rescue. I believe that. But not Gwyneth Paltrow. She's done, Max. C minus.
I agree. C minus.
A character in it. I'm just gonna leave it alone and let Max get back on it. I think a character that a person that we missed out on a lot of movies for, like superhero parts. Lynn Collins. I think Lynn Collins could have played Pepper Potts. Lynn Collins, if you don't know, she played in John Carter. She played Deja. I forget what Tharse or something like that. Yeah, she played in John Carter's 2012 movie. I think her look kind of translates.
She was in Wolverine?
I didn't know she was in Wolverine.
That's what I think she's the chick
she
in
was
Wolverine.
in Wolverine. She was in Wolverine. But I mean, her look translates. It's one of those that I think she would have been a good Wonder Woman for me. I would have been good with her. But, I think they got that one. And it is what it is. So I think overall, let's say this, Max. Overall, that Iron Man was casted right. They recast it with Rhodey. So I'll give them an A minus, A plus.
I'd give them a C plus or a B minus. Like Tony Stark is an A plus, but everything else is kind of eh.
Yeah.
Justin Hammer was good too, but we'll talk about that another time.
Wow.
You have no basis. You hate Brie Larson for no reason. And
right.
The guy, Mahershala Ali.
I can't listen. If he gets, let me say something about Mahershala. If Mahershala actually gets bigger as an actor, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like he gets some girth to him. They put him through some training to where he looks believable. You know what I'm saying? I might gravitate to him too as a character.
Because Wesley Snipes was huge in that movie.
Wesley Snipes was an action hero. He's an action hero. Okay, he was an action hero. Out there in Marvelous
Next
Talk,
question,
y'all know
please.
I'm telling the truth. He was an action hero. Okay, hero.
He's biased.
You see how I'm saying the word?
Wesley.
Hero.
He's biased for Wesley. He's biased.
I'm good. That's all the casting I got for today.
All right. So last thing, man. Last thing I want to talk about was this deleted scene from Batman. Bruh, did y'all get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I watched it.
I just heard about it. I haven't seen it yet.
I watched it.
So Big G, are you glad they took it out?
No, heck no. Because it actually told you who the character was. He's freaking Joker. And they were setting him up the comparison to what the Joker that we've seen on the big screen versus this Joker, this guy is actually comic book accurate versus the one we've seen on the big screen.
He was, but
this Joker's gonna be off the chain, man.
He was, man, but he was so maniacal. Like, it was so eerie. Like, I was like, man,
yes, that's Joker. That is
like, man,
you got to understand that Joker and Batman are two opposite sides of a coin, right? So if you got this Batman and you painted this guy as this dark, like, because this Batman is dark, right? And he's like he's on the edge of killing people. This guy, this Batman, right? So the Joker has got to be that much and more. And man, this guy that's going to play the Joker is off the hook. Like if moving forward, he's like the one. He's the one to me.
Big shoes to fill. That's all I'm gonna say.
He has huge
shoes to fill.
Matt,
let me ask you a question. Heath Ledger the best Joker we've ever had?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think this guy can take Heath Ledger out. I think he can take him out.
He was so slimy. He was so
slimy
and eerie, bro.
That's what the Joker is. The Joker ain't no nice. Right. The Joker ain't no nice, cupcake, frou-frou dude. The Joker toys with you like playing chess. He already knows from the very beginning he's going to kill you. He's just going to mess with you the whole way until he gets you to the end where you're at a place of total fear and just your brain is gone, and then he offs you. Right? That's what the Joker does. So I think moving forward, that's what you're going to see. The Joker's off the hook, man.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So parting shots, Max, what you got, man? What you got for me in your parting?
I have like 3 quick ones. So
okay.
I don't know if I can get through all of them. So if Batman was you know how we talked about doing the bracket for like superheroes fighting? Batman would be St. Peter. He'd be a 15 seed that somehow would get propelled because that's his whole shtick. 2.
Final 8.
What?
Final 8. He's in the final 8 right now.
2. Do you think 50 Cent could have played Rhodey?
Ooh.
I don't think 50 has the. I don't think 50 has the chops to play Rhodey.
I mean, it's not like Rhodey's some deep character. He could just make his like dumb little jokes. He'd just be like, "I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna die trying." That's all he'd have to say.
But here's the thing: you would still see 50. To play Rhodey, you got to disappear.
Gonna see the armor.
Yeah, but you would have to disappear. You would still see. You wouldn't see the arm. You see the arm, and you would see. What 50 Cent gonna have on today? You're gonna see 50 Cent. You're not gonna see Rhodey. So I don't think 50 would have been.
Hey, 50 Cent's more like Tony Stark than anyone else. He's a mogul. Come on.
Yeah. And on the for real tip, I really do believe shortly you're going to see an actor rapper go into the MCU.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do. I don't know. I don't know which one. Who?
Donald Glover.
Charles Gambino now.
Donald Glover had a
okay, that doesn't count.
Spider-Man. Yeah, he had a role this big in Spider-Man, and he's Miles Morales' uncle. I mean, I'm talking about like a Luke guy. Cage. Yeah, but he was this big. I'm talking about a guy who's actually going to be like a hero or a villain. I think a rapper actor is soon to be cast into the MCU. I don't know who, but I think one.
Okay. That's all I got. I forgot the other one I had.
All right, Big G, parting shots.
Nova, Nova. I think Nova is going to carry us into the outworld, outer space type thing. I know they're doing the Marvels movie. I know they're going to get homage to even Captain Marvel, but I know that Nova is the big thing moving forward for Marvel as far as the outer space stuff. And I think you're going to get reference to him, if not an on-site screenshot of him in either Guardians 3 or Thor: Love and Thunder. Nova is huge moving forward for the MCU.
Okay, so I'm excited for us to get the ball rolling because we are about to be that much closer to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm really excited about that. Spider-Man is out now, so you can kind of on Amazon, you can catch it, and it came out on digital so you can get a digital copy of it as well. And some people, it's on your cable network. You can actually order the movie. So make sure you get it in, rewatch it, because there's a lot of things that I think that were left unsaid, and then things that we didn't catch. So you guys, man, it's been a great Saturday morning rapping with you for a taste. If you guys love the content that you got, make sure that you like on Facebook and you subscribe on YouTube, so that when you hit that subscribe button, you'll know exactly when we're getting ready to go live, man. For myself and for Max and for Big G, we will catch you guys on Wednesday again for another level of Marvelous Talk. We'll be talking about Moonknight then. Yeah, we out.